Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the WACAC Virtual College Exploration with St. Norbert College. We'll begin here in just a few minutes when we have participants are coming in as we just began now. So just give us a minute or two and we'll begin the presentation. All right, well, with the interest of time in mind, we have a 45-minute window here and we do have a hard stop in 45 minutes. So I do want to take the opportunity to get us started. Again, welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for all Wisconsin students. And this is the St. Norbert College session. I am your WACAC facilitator. So I'm just going to kick things off here before I turn it over to my St. Norbert colleagues. Just a few housekeeping items. As far as asking questions, please use the Q&A function of Zoom. You'll be able to type your questions in there and our presenters will answer them as they are able. Your camera and microphone are off. So using that function is the best function and our presenters cannot see or hear you as attendees. Please do feel free to sign up for more sessions. There are more sessions available at wacac.com. And then the recording of this session will be available at wacac.com as well. So don't feel like you necessarily have to vigorously take notes. Our presenters have some wonderful information to share and that will all be available on the website as well. So with that being said, I am gonna stop my share and go into silent mode and I will turn it over to my colleagues.
All right, hello everybody. Welcome, we're very happy to have you here to learn more about St. Norbert College. My name is Mary Beth Franken. I am one of the admission counselors for St. Norbert. I work primarily with Milwaukee area students. I am also a graduate of St. Norbert. I graduated with a major in English and a minor in Spanish. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. I also liaison for a lot of our academic partnership programs, so can address that as well. We're just going to be giving you a quick overview here today, but if you are interested in learning more, don't hesitate to reach out to any of the panelists here today, or even better, schedule a visit to St. Norbert. We are accepting visitors on campus on a limited basis, and we're also continuing to do virtual presentations as well. So we would love to have you up to St. Norbert College to show you around campus and show you everything that we have to offer. Just out of curiosity, we would like to know who's on the call today. You don't have to say your name, but can you, if you wouldn't mind sharing in the Q&A whether you are a high school student, a parent of a high school student, or a school counselor, or something else entirely, just so that we can kind of gear the information based on who's on the call. And now I'm going to turn it over to my friend Sam, who is a current St. Norbert College student. So I'm sure that you all really want to hear from him and learn more about St. Norbert from the student perspective.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in tonight. My name is Sam Denny. As Mary Beth said, I am a current student here. I'm a senior now, so going on 4 years being at St. Norbert College. I'm a mathematics major with a biology minor, so into more grad school stuff after this. I'm also one of the tour guides here on campus, so if you do get a chance to come on up to St. Norbert College for a tour, I might be one of the lucky guys showing you around campus. So again, thank you guys for tuning in tonight, and I hope you guys have a lot of good questions for us at the end.
And good evening, everyone. My name is Dustin Thill. I'm kind of the fossil on our staff. I've been here for a long, long time, probably before some of you have been alive. So I always like to say I know more about St. Norbert College than you're ever going to want to know. So with that, I'm just going to do a little bit of an overview of St. Norbert, and then Mary Beth's going to get into great detail. I always refer to St. Norbert College as kind of the fairy tale college that still exists. And what I mean by that is there's 4,298 schools in this country. And I hope you didn't know that, because it's kind of creepy that I actually know that. But I believe there's not a right or a wrong. There's not necessarily a better or worse. You have to find the very best fit for you and for your students. So with that said, we are uniquely different. And where we're going to be so different is when I do refer to us as a fairy tale college, what I mean is we're very traditional. Just about everybody on our campus is pretty much 18 to 22, except for a lot of our hockey players that come in as 20, 21-year-old freshmen, but that's a little bit different for them. But almost everybody is 18 to 22. Almost everybody lives on campus all 4 years, and very rarely do people go home on the weekends. We're a 4-year residential campus, which means our students are on campus their freshman through their senior year. And that creates a different type of community. We're not a suitcase college. We don't have weekend programs. We don't have extension programs. We don't have accelerated programs or blend ed programs or satellite campuses or old people like me in the classes with the students. It's a very traditional, true sense of belonging, true sense of community, part of a bigger whole type of an institution. So that does distinguish us from a lot of schools, because not a lot of schools are that 4-year residential campus anymore. With that, I mean, we expect our students to go to class every single day. We expect our students to participate in class every single day. There's a big difference between going to class and participating in class. The professors are going to know the student's name within the first 2 weeks. It's more of a dialogue. They're there for them, not just during class, but before class and after class, and a lot of lasting relationships over the course of their lives at St. Norbert College. So it's something that's going to follow you through. When I said there's so many schools out there, St. Norbert is kind of the essence of what college, in my opinion, should be. It's going to be that traditional 4-year sense of belonging, sense of community, where we're going to be part of your life the rest of your life. So if you're looking for that true college experience, we might be a good fit. Now, that's not right for everybody, but it's right for a lot of our students. The other thing about our school that's uniquely different too is we kind of have the best of both worlds. And Mary Beth will talk a little bit more about this too, as far as location goes. It appears about 25,000. It's safe and secure. It's right on the Fox River. It looks like an Ivy League school in Wisconsin. You have the little coffee shops, the little eating places. You have everything you want of a total college town. However, you're only about 3 miles away from 250,000 people and about 20 minutes away from 500,000 people. So it gives us great opportunities for the different types of internships, different types of musicals and different events that go on right outside of the area. So the nice thing is you kind of have the best of both worlds, that total college town and that big city feel. Now, Mary Beth's going to go into much more detail about this. Thank you for joining us tonight. Please get on campus to visit, because the best selling for us is you getting on campus and seeing it. If that's admissions, if that's counselors from other schools coming and visiting, if that's parents, prospective families coming to visit, we love to have you on our campus. But once again, thank you for joining us this evening.
All right, thanks, Dustin. As Dustin mentioned, I'm going to go over some more detail about St. Norbert, and feel free as I am going through the presentation to ask any questions that you have. You can use the Q&A, and we'll certainly leave time at the end for questions. I think specifically you might want to ask some questions of Sam about what the current student experience is like. So you can see just a little overview of kind of one of the borders of our campus, that is the Fox River. I get that question a lot, what body of water is that? The other main thing that I hear when students visit campus is what a beautiful campus we have. And I think that that's definitely true, and you'll definitely find that if you come visit. So this is just a little infographic that talks about some of the key facts about St. Norbert College. We have a total student body of about 2,100 students, and 98% of those students live on campus all 4 years. So we're a very much a residential college. And the 2% that don't live on campus are generally commuters that live at home with their families. We have about, over the last decade or so, have put about $150 million worth of renovations and additions into our campus. So it definitely has that traditional college campus feel, but it's very well updated. You can see there, that's the Malva Family Fitness and Sports Center in the picture. That's our latest renovation, but we have also renovated our library, our science facility, our cafeteria, and done some updating in the residence halls as well. Within that 2,100 students, there's a lot of ways that you can get involved. We have 23 Division III sports for both men and women. If you're not an athlete, we have over 100 different clubs and student organizations that you can join, 40 different academic majors, which I'll talk more about. And just a fun fact, we were voted best college food in Wisconsin and #9 in the nation by niche.com, which is a college ranking website. So the food is really good. And most importantly, we have a 4-year graduation guarantee. So you're going to be able to graduate on time in 4 years, or even less in some cases. So we look at ourselves as having 3 guiding traditions that are at the core of who we are as an institution. We are a Catholic college, we're a Norbertine college, and we're a liberal arts college. On the Catholic side, you definitely don't have to be Catholic to come to St. Norbert College. If you are Catholic, that's great. There's a lot of wonderful ways that you can grow in your faith by attending Mass at Old St. Joe's, which is our church right on campus, getting involved in our campus ministry department, really making what you want of the faith experience. But if you are not Catholic, you'll still feel 100% comfortable, welcome, embraced on our campus. Kind of the most concrete way in which our students experience the religious aspect of who we are is that you are required to take 2 theology classes. One is a class called Theological Foundations, which is required for every single student. And then the other one is an upper level theology class. So you can pick from a whole host of classes that are topics that you might want to learn a little bit more about, explore a little bit more, or just whatever you're comfortable with. So it's very open-ended. On the Norbertine side, we are the only Norbertine college in the world, which is kind of our cool little claim to fame. You may have absolutely no idea what that means, and that's totally fine. The Norbertines are an order of Catholic priests, so a group of priests that live together and share kind of a common set of values. You may be more familiar with the Jesuits who run Marquette University and a variety of other Jesuit colleges and high schools throughout the United States. But the reason most people in the US are not familiar with the Norbertines is because there aren't that many of them here. There are only 3 Norbertine communities throughout the whole United States, but there are many more in Europe. And in fact, the Norbertines are going to be celebrating their 900th birthday in 2021. So they've been around for a long, long time. And the Norbertine Order founded St. Norbert College in 1898, and they continue to stay really actively involved in our campus life today. And we draw a lot of our identity as an institution from the Norbertines and who they are and what they're all about. So they're really big on a couple different things. They're really, really big on the idea of service and serving the community where you are. So that's a huge part of our student experience. Our students are doing service through their classes, residence halls, extracurricular activities that they're involved with. And our goal is that you're going to get involved with service while you're a student. And then once you graduate, continue to make that a priority in your life, continue to be an active and engaged citizen in your community wherever you land after you graduate, because that's very important to us. The Norbertines also have a word called communio, and that's a word that we use a lot on our campus, and it kind of guides the way that we live and the way that we treat each other as a community. And kind of the literal translation of communio means to have mutual respect and faith and trust in one another. But really what it means for our students is that we have a super tight-knit sense of community where you're going to be known, you're going to be cared for, you're going to be cared about. You're not just going to be a number. You're not going to fall through the cracks at all. There's so much support in place to help you succeed academically, socially, spiritually, personally. And that's definitely my favorite part about who we are. Just that unmatched sense of community and how well we care for each other is really, I think, something that's really remarkable and has touched my heart since I was a student at St. Norbert College. And then the third piece to who we are is that we're a liberal arts college. And the goal of a liberal arts education is to help you develop skills in things like writing, communicating, problem solving, critical thinking, working on a team, which are some of those, they call them soft skills because they're not necessarily specific to any one career path, but they're really applicable to any and every job that you could ever hope to have. And they're skills that employers really look for as well, because they're skills that are a little bit more difficult to teach than some of those more specific on-the-job training that can be taught kind of as you go. So the liberal arts gives you a really diverse worldview and teaches you to look at the world through a lot of different lenses and with a really critical eye. So Catholic, Norbertine, liberal arts. Those are the 3 most important pieces to who we are, 3 really important things to remember about St. Norbert College. So from an academic standpoint, we have a really rigorous academic program. One of the things that I know our students really love about St. Norbert is not only the small class sizes, but also the relationships that they develop with their professors. Because we are a smaller school, we have those nice small class sizes. We have a 13-to-1 faculty to student ratio, and our average class is right around 19, 20, 21, somewhere in that range. And the classes are all taught by the professors. They're not taught by a TA or a graduate assistant or anything like that. So you wouldn't find yourself in a lecture hall with 300 of your closest friends. That's not at all how we do things. And the faculty are really engaged with their students' lives, not only in the classroom, but outside of the classroom as well. And they take a really big kind of mentorship focus with their students and make sure that you are doing well, but also thinking ahead and thinking big picture as far as career path and what you want to do in your life after you leave this place. Kind of related to that, we have a unique model for advising. So all of our professors are also advisors. So each student has a professor within their major who is their advisor for all 4 years. And that person will help you pick out your classes to make sure that you're able to stay on track to graduate in 4 years, but also meet all the goals that you want to meet as well. If you want to do a double major in something, or if you want to do a major minor, think about internships, think about potential for grad school, what career path are you going to follow? So there's a lot of support both to help you succeed academically and to make sure that you are thinking ahead to your life after St. Norbert as well. We also offer a lot of academic support from the professors. Professors are required to have open office hours where they sit in their office and wait for you to come talk to them, or virtual in 2020. Hopefully that won't continue for very long though. And so if you have a question about something, you're not understanding something in the material, or just found yourself really passionate about something in a lecture and want to continue that conversation, the professors really welcome that, and they love having those conversations with their students. We also have an Office of Academic Support Services that works with students that need accommodations or who find themselves struggling in a class. You can go and get free tutoring from them, and they have a variety of programs set up as well to help our students be successful. So we have over 40 different academic majors here at St. Norbert College, and you can see them all listed out here. Our most popular majors are business, education, anything in the sciences, particularly biomedical science, psychology, and communications. And then we also have a variety of pre-professional programs as well that you can see highlighted in green on this slide. And again, if you have questions about a specific major, don't hesitate to reach out. We're more than happy to answer any and all questions that you have. And in a lot of cases, we're also able to connect you with the faculty who can speak more specifically to that program if that's something that you're interested in. So from the perspective of campus life, we have a very rich and vibrant campus life here at St. Norbert. Our president, Brian Brees, always likes to say that the #1 predictor of student success in college is not your GPA in high school, it's not your test scores, it's how well you engage with the opportunities that are afforded to you. And really, I think that's one of the benefits of a smaller school, that people are gonna know you. Like I said, we have that really tight-knit sense of community. So people are gonna say, hey, have you thought about joining this club? Or would you be interested in this specific program? And as long as you're willing to say yes to those opportunities, you're going to be successful. So we, as I mentioned earlier, have over 23 Division III sports for both men and women. We also offer intramural sports if you are hoping to stay active and athletic, but don't necessarily want to continue at the varsity level. And then we also have over 100 different student organizations that you can get involved with. Everything from academic clubs, service organizations, faith-based groups, Greek and social life. There's lots of ways that you can pursue your interests outside of the classroom and really grow as a leader too. So every year we do an involvement fair where you can see kind of a good visual representation of all of our student organizations and potentially sign up right on the spot. So you can see the picture in the upper right-hand corner there is of our involvement fair from last year. So we make it really easy for you to get involved and to really have that fun, vibrant college experience. We also have a great Office of Multicultural Student Services, and they offer a variety of programming. They do cultural events all throughout the year to make sure that our students are staying aware of different cultures and really participating in different events. We also have a program called the STAR program, which assists any student who is of a diverse background or who is just passionate about diversity and inclusion in making that transition from high school to college and having that really great sense of community. So one other thing, as I mentioned earlier, that really sets life at St. Norbert apart is that we're a residential college. So that means that 98% of our students live on campus all 4 years. Now, a lot of times when I say that, I think students get a little bit nervous because they picture living in a dorm for 4 years, but that's definitely not the case. Freshman year, the housing is pretty standard for what you see on most college campuses. Sophomore year, it's more suite style housing, so either 4 or 8 students to a suite, depending on which res hall you choose to live in. And then junior and senior year, we have 2 different apartment complexes on campus, townhouses on the river, carriage houses. We also own about 35 or so homes within the 2 or 3 block radius of campus. So especially once you get to your junior and senior year, living on campus basically means that St. Norbert is your landlord. So they're going to make sure that you're living in a place that is well maintained, well taken care of. It's not a dump or a scary place to live. And really the reason why we have that residency requirement goes back to that sense of community that I talked about. We want our students to be on campus. We want them to be actively participating in campus life, getting involved in student organizations, cheering on our sports teams. And it's just harder to do that if you don't live right on campus. And I know from my own experience from when I was a student, and I'm sure Sam can attest to this as well, I wouldn't have wanted to live off campus because I would have really felt like I was missing out on, part of the fun of college. And if you're living on campus, you also need to eat on campus, which is a great thing because our food is really, really good. As I mentioned earlier, we were voted best college food in Wisconsin and #9 in the nation. All of our food is prepared right on site by our own chefs. Some of it is even grown on campus in our campus garden. And we also employ a registered dietitian who works with all of our students who have unique dietary needs or food allergies or anything like that. And then we also have a gluten-free and allergen-friendly station in the cafeteria. So if you are gluten-free or if you're vegetarian, vegan, if you have a food allergy, you're going to be able to eat, and you're going to be able to eat good and really, really good food. And the newest addition is that we also have a made-to-order sushi bar in one of our dining establishments. So that's very exciting. So in addition to life on campus, we also really encourage our students to go away. And what I mean by that is that we are a very international campus, both in that we welcome a lot of students from other countries to study at St. Norbert, but we also have a great study abroad program. About 30% of our students study abroad at some point in their college career, typically in their junior year, which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it's actually about 3 times the national average. So we're definitely doing something right, and we really encourage our students to study abroad. Sam just got back from Australia. He had a little bit of a unique experience in 2020, but he can talk more specifically about that. We have about 75 programs in 29 different countries around the world. So there's tons of places you can pick to go, both language immersion programs and English speaking programs, just depending on what you're looking for and what you're comfortable with. Some have an internship component, some have a service component, some have a research component. So if there's something specific that you're looking to get out of your study abroad experience, you can work with our study abroad office, and they will make sure that you're connected to a program that really meets all of your goals and what you're hoping to get out of a semester or an international exchange program. With our full semester study abroad, there's 2 especially great things about the way our program is structured. The first is that all of your scholarships and any financial aid you're receiving from us, which I'll talk a little bit more about in just a minute, that all applies to a semester abroad. So other than buying your plane ticket to get wherever you're going, financially it's going to be 100% exactly the same as what you'd be paying to be at St. Norbert for that semester. And if your tuition, housing, meal plan abroad is more than what it would be on campus, then we work with you to absorb some of that cost to make sure that financially it's going to be almost exactly the same as what you'd be paying to be at St. Norbert for that semester. And we also really work with you to make sure that you can study abroad and still graduate on time in 4 years. So we pre-approve all of your classes. We work really closely with your academic advisor and with the registrar's office, both on campus and at your school abroad, to make sure that all the classes you take are going to transfer back to St. Norbert, and most importantly, that they're going to fit in with your specific graduation plan. Sam, anything you'd like to add about that?
I think that's awesome. Great job.
Thank you. So as Dustin mentioned, we have a really great community here in the Green Bay De Pere area. There's lots to do both on and off campus, but also Green Bay is a very friendly city to be able to get that career development and to do internships. excuse me, and you can see some examples on the screen of some of the great companies and organizations that our students intern for. We have an Office of Career and Professional Development on campus, and they do a great job of connecting our students to those internship opportunities and to full-time employment as well. And they actually encourage all of our students, regardless of what their major is, to try and do at least 3 internships throughout their 4 years. Some programs have an internship built right in, but even if it's not built into your major, it's the best way that you are going to put what you're learning in the classroom to practical use, network with prospective employers, and really build that resume so that when you're getting ready to graduate, you have no problem at all finding a job. And we have a few ways that we connect our students to those opportunities. We have a program called Handshake, which is sort of like our own internal version of LinkedIn. If you're familiar with LinkedIn, it's basically social media for job seekers. And through Handshake, you are able to connect with some of these internship opportunities and also network with alums and people that are working at companies and organizations that you're interested in so that you can, you know, potentially make a connection at that organization. And then Career and Professional Development also organizes an on-campus career and internship fair where they bring some of these companies and organizations directly to campus, and you put on your most professional attire, bring copies of your resume, and you're able to connect right on campus to some of these prospective internships. And then they also throughout the year will bring larger companies and organizations to recruit for internships and for full-time employment. So the great thing about the Green Bay area is not only do these wonderful opportunities exist, but there's not a saturation of the market when it comes to college students. As I mentioned, St. Norbert is a smaller school. And then the only other college in the Green Bay area, aside from the technical college, is UW Green Bay. And UWGB is one of the smaller colleges in the UW system. So you're not competing with a lot of other college students to take on some of these really fantastic internship opportunities and to kind of have your pick of the litter and be able to pick something that's a really good fit for what you're looking for and what your future goals are. So what does all of this mean? You know, I've talked a lot about some of the things that set St. Norbert apart as far as academic programs and campus life, but what does that mean exactly? So a couple kind of facts and figures that are important for students who are looking at St. Norbert to know. Currently, we have an 82% retention rate, and retention rate is a measure that colleges use that measures how many students stick around from their freshman year to their sophomore year, because that's a good indicator of how happy students are and whether they're going to persist for all 4 years. And 82% is quite high, especially compared to national averages, which I believe are in the 60s. And historically, we've also had one of the best 4-year graduation rates of any college in Wisconsin. So when I know I've been hammering home 4 years, 4 years, 4 years a lot, but it's really something that's important to us that our students are able to graduate in 4 years, or even less in some cases. About 12% of our students are able to graduate in 3.5 years. So we want to make sure that you're not having to pay for any additional time on campus. We also have an incredibly low loan default rate at 2.2%. And that means that our graduates are getting jobs, they're getting well-paying jobs, and they're able to pay back their student loans without having to worry whether it's going to be kind of at the risk of other areas of their financial life. In addition to that, we also have really great job placement rates. 60% of our students of the last class, the class of 2019, I believe this data is from, had a job before they even walked across that stage at graduation, and 97% were employed within a year. So that's pretty good, either employed or in graduate school. So that's this is the exact breakdown here. About 69% went into the workforce, and then 26% went right from St. Norbert into a graduate or professional program, dental school, medical school, law school, something along those lines. And then about 2% went into either the military service or some other form of national service, whether that be AmeriCorps, Peace Corps. And on our website as well, on the Career and Professional Development website, there's some really interesting data that you can look through. It actually breaks it down by major, where you can see how many students had jobs within a year for that specific major. And it also lists the companies and the titles of graduates, so you can kind of see where our students are getting jobs, where they're working. That's much more drilled down and much more specific by major. So we're happy to send you those links if you're interested in pursuing that at all. So as far as admission to St. Norbert goes, and what that looks like, our application is open now. It opened August 1st, and we have rolling admission, so that means there is no application deadline. You can apply at any time throughout your senior year, but I always think it's better to err on the side of getting it done earlier rather than later, just so you don't miss any important scholarship deadlines. There's two ways you can apply. We accept the common application, which is one application you can fill out one time and have sent to multiple schools, provided that they accept the common app. Or we have our own application on our website that's unique to St. Norbert. It doesn't matter at all on our end which one you choose to use. Neither of those application options carries more weight than the other in the eyes of the admission committee. I would say if you're looking at other common app schools, probably use that one, but otherwise our application is definitely fine as well. And then in addition to your application, we need your high school transcript. And we are test optional for the fall of 2021, for students looking to enroll in the fall of 2021. So if you have a test score, I know it's been really difficult to take the ACT and the SAT this year, but if you have a test score that you want to send, you're welcome to do that. But you certainly don't have to, and it won't affect anything at all if you don't submit a test score. It won't decrease your chances of being accepted or being considered for academic scholarships. And please know as well that your application is very much a living document from the time you click submit all the way through until you would potentially enroll and start here. So what that means is that we can always take in new information, whether that be an updated transcript midway through your senior year, or if you at some point this year do have the opportunity to take or retake the ACT or SAT, you can always send that new information, even if you've already been admitted, even if you've already been offered a scholarship. And if it changes anything as far as our admission decision and or our scholarship offer, we're happy to make that change for you. So if you're kind of hemming and hawing about whether to submit a test score, just know that you can always submit information later on. And then not necessarily required, but highly recommended to include with your application are also a letter of recommendation from a teacher, a guidance counselor, someone who can speak to your academic abilities, character, leadership, all those great things about you, and especially also a personal statement. So on the Common App, they have 5 or 6 different essay prompts that you can pick from if you're looking for a little bit more guidance. But otherwise, you also have the opportunity to submit a personal statement, which is really just your chance to tell us anything and everything that you think would be helpful or important to us to know, for us to know as we're evaluating your application. I know the question, tell me a little bit more about yourself, can be kind of difficult to answer, but it's really just our chance to get to know you a little bit better beyond just the GPA and test scores and some of those dry facts, to kind of get a little bit more at the core of who you are and what makes you tick. And that's my favorite part about reviewing an application, is reading the personal statement. I think, Dustin, you'd probably agree with that as well. And then some students will also submit a resume. You're welcome to do that if you'd like. That both application formats do allow you to put in your extracurricular activities, but if you want to kind of synthesize it into a document that's a little bit more easy to read, you're welcome to do that. And then once all of the pieces of your application come in and everything is all good to go, it should really only be 2 to 3 weeks until you hear back from us in the mail. So it's a really quick turnaround time. We try not to keep you waiting for too long. And our average GPA is a 3.5. This is the first year that we've been test optional. So in the past, our average ACT was a 25 and average SAT was a 1200. So when we evaluate your application, we also evaluate you for academic scholarships. So there's nothing more that you need to do to apply for an academic merit-based scholarship. And every student, pretty much for the most part, receives an academic scholarship. We actually just got word last week that they have been raised. So they are now ranging between $15,000 and $24,000 per year. So that's very exciting. And that's based on your GPA, your test score, if you have one, your academic classes, extracurricular involvement, things like that. And then in addition to your merit-based scholarship, we also have a few other scholarships that you're welcome to apply for. The Multicultural Leadership Award is for students who are passionate about diversity and inclusion, who are of diverse backgrounds. It's an essay-based application. It's going to be due sometime in January. I think it's worth it when the time comes to at least take a look at the questions that it asks and see if you can think of experiences that you've had that speak to those questions. If you apply and you're not selected, you're out, you know, an hour or two of your time. But if you are selected, it's worth $4,000 per year. We also have a STEM Scholars Grant. So last year we were awarded almost $1 million grant from the National Science Foundation. And among other things, it creates a cohort of students that are interested in STEM fields, so science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But it also helps meet unmet financial needs. So there are some very specific requirements to receive that grant. You have to have a 3.75 GPA. You have to be studying a STEM field. With the only exception to that is students who are majoring in biology and biomedical science are not eligible, especially if you're interested in pursuing a career in the health sciences. And also you have to have unmet financial need, which is determined by the FAFSA. So that has a little bit of a different application process. And then we also have the Emmaus Center Peer Ministry Scholarship, which is for students who want to get involved in the faith life on campus. The Emmaus Center is our campus ministry department. And they do a lot of really great work with retreats, discussions, programs, ways to help our students grow in their faith and really connect with each other on a deeper level as well. And they offer both scholarship positions and work study positions. So potentially you could have a scholarship with them and then also get paid an hourly wage for the time you put into planning those programs. Their scholarship is the only one of our scholarships that is non-renewable. It's a one-time $1,000 scholarship. But other than that, all the rest of our scholarships, including your academic scholarship, would be yours for the 4 years that you would be on campus. We also have a music scholarship for students that are interested in music. You don't have to be a music major or minor to receive that award. You just have to agree to participate in music on an extracurricular level, and we have a wide variety of ensembles. That's an audition-based scholarship. So the auditions are always on a Saturday, one in January, and where you can pick whichever date works best for you. I'm not sure at this point if they'll be on campus or if they'll be virtual, but they will be in some format. You perform 2 pieces for our music faculty and then also do a short interview with them as well. And you can get between $500 and $2,000 per year with the music scholarship. And then we have an Army ROTC scholarship if any of you are interested in pursuing that. And then we also have a research fellowships program, which provides paid research opportunities for students to get involved in research during their first year. So that's kind of how we start the financial aid process, is with those academic and merit-based scholarships. But in addition to that, you and your family can file the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. And the FAFSA determines need-based financial aid that you may qualify for. And need-based aid essentially comes from 3 different sources: grants, loans, and work study. A grant is just free money. You don't have to pay it back. And that can come from the federal government, the state of Wisconsin, and or from St. Norbert College. We have a good amount of institutional grant money that we give away to help make St. Norbert more affordable for you and your family. Student loans, which of course you would have to pay back after you graduate, and work study. Work study just means that you have a job on campus. All of our campus employment is open to any student regardless of work study status. So if you want to have a job, you're welcome to have a job. May not be the most glamorous job you've ever had in your life, but it'll help you earn some money to put towards your education. And FAFSA opens October 1st for those of you that are seniors, and then we typically send out financial aid packages beginning in the middle of December. So you know roughly about halfway through the whole admissions process what everything looks like as far as financial aid goes. But if you want to get kind of an estimate at this point of what your financial aid package could look like, we also have something on our website called the Net Price Calculator, which actually every college in the United States is required to have. So you can kind of compare and contrast a little bit. For the net price calculator, you put in some of the students' initial financial or initial academic information and some of the family's kind of surface level financial information, and it gives you an estimate of what your financial aid package could look like. I'm not sure if that has been updated yet because, like I said, we just earlier this week raised our scholarship, so it might not be reflected in that yet, but it will be soon. I know they're working on that. So it's at least a really good starting point to kind of give you an idea of where you might fall as far as financial aid goes. And I know that financial aid can really be kind of a confusing process, especially if you've never been through it before. So don't hesitate to reach out to your admission counselor. We are all more than happy to help and answer any questions that you have. All right, so I've talked a lot. I know it was a lot of information. Does anyone have any questions that they really want to ask to me, Sam, or Dustin? Sam, do you want to share a little bit more about what's your favorite part about being a student at St. Norbert College?
Sure, I can do that. Oh gosh, there's so many though. I think my favorite part about being a St. Norbert College student is just the connections that you have as a student. So like Mary Beth said, I did go abroad to Australia, and actually while I was over there, I did meet somebody from St. Norbert College. They're one of the, I want to say they're like a donor or something for the college, but it was kind of cool that even in a country that's almost 9,000 miles away from here, I could still find somebody from St. Norbert College. So the connections that you have are definitely something to take into consideration. So when you're looking for jobs or internships or something like that, our whole alumni office is there to help you kind of reach out to somebody who might be in your field of interest, or talk to somebody who has gone through the whole process before. So having those connections is really a game changer when it comes to finding a job and grad school and everything like that.
Thank you. Dustin, do you want to share your favorite thing about St. Norbert?
Well, I've been in the school so long, and I have so many amazing memories. And I kind of joke that I've been the best man in 6 weddings of students I've recruited, but that's a testament of how close we get to the students and the families, and that's just the best man in the weddings. I've been in so many weddings I can't even count, which has been such an honor and such a privilege. I guess I look at what we do, what Mary Beth and I do, and even Sam as a tour guide. It's so much more than a job. It's kind of like a calling for us, and we probably do more than we should for our students, but yet St. Norbert is the essence of community, like I'd mentioned before. And I can't imagine doing anything else in the last quarter century with my life. And it's just meaningful. And I have so many amazing connections. And I mean, I always joke with my wife, we're kind of like the Holiday Inn. We're always open. We have families staying at our house at times. We just had a graduation for one of our high school, or one of our college seniors that I met in 9th grade before she was even in high school. I was doing a presentation down in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I was hoping to get her brother to come to St. Norbert, and he didn't. However, she was in 9th grade and she did. So that was really unique, and very honored to have a very, very intimate, small gathering at our house with everything going on in today's world. So if you're looking for something that's going to be with you the rest of your life, and you're looking for that true sense of community and that sense of belonging and being part of a greater whole, I mean, that's truly what we believe in. We are the essence of what community is. So there's so many great things, but it's all about the community.
Thank you. All right. Well, I had meant to put a slide on here with our contact information, but it doesn't look like it carried over. So I will just, if you students have pen and paper and want to write something down, if you just email admit, ADMIT, @snc.edu, it'll get to the right person. You can ask any and all questions. We have someone monitoring that every single day. So that's a great way to reach out. Or our main admissions phone number is 920-403-3005. And if you're interested in scheduling a visit, either on campus or a virtual visit, you can visit snc.edu/go/visit. So snc.edu/go/visit. Like I said, we are doing on-campus visits in a safe way and on a little bit of a limited basis, Monday through Friday. And then we also have some Saturday availability as well. I know most of our Saturdays have filled up pretty quickly, but we do have one in October and one in early November as well, if a Saturday works better for you. But we would really love to have you on campus. Sam might be the one giving you a tour or welcoming you to the front desk. But with that, I will turn it over. Thank you so much for being here. We all love talking about St. Norbert, so it was an honor to work with you tonight. And don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or if there's anything we can help you with.
Thank you to all of our presenters, and just a few just a minute's wrap up here. Thank you for all attending tonight. There's going to be a quick survey once you log off. And again, there is more sessions to sign up at wacac.com. And if you'd like to view the recording of tonight's session, please feel free to find it there. So thank you again, and thank you to our presenters. Have a wonderful evening.